So in this video, we will study about the next essential part of the flower, that is the gynoecium. Gynoecium is said to be the fourth wall of the flower, and it is also said to be the female reproductive part of the flower. Okay, since this is also involved in the reproduction, it is said to be the essential organ. Gynoecium or pistil is the female reproductive part of the flower. A pistil consists of expanded basal portion, that is called the ovary. So in a pistil or an gynoecium, there is an expanded basal portion. This portion is called as the ovary. Okay, an elongated section, an elongated part is there which is projecting outwards. This is called as the style. Okay, and then apical structure, and on the top of the style there is a structure which is meant for receiving the pollen grain. This is called as the stigma. So in a pistil or a gynoecium there are three parts: ovary, style and stigma. In some plants or in some families of the plant, we can find that below the ovary there are meristematic tissues present there. Okay, below the ovary meristematic tissue will be present. Then that is called as the stipe. That is called as the stipe. So if the stipe is present in an ovary, that ovary is said to be a stipitate ovary. This ovary is said to be a stipitate ovary. Next we are going to study about the carpel. Now, inside the ovary, the chambers inside the ovary, that is called as the carpel, or they are said to be the components of the gynoecium. Gynoecium is made up of one or more carpels. Okay, so inside the ovary, there may be one or more number of carpels. These carpels may be distinct or connate. The carpels may be free from each other or they may be joined to each other. Now, based on the number of carpels, how many number of carpels are there? They are classified as unicarpellary. Unicarpellary means only one carpel is present there, single carpel is present. You can find in the members of Fabaceae family. Bicarpellary, only two carpels are present there inside the ovary. This we can find in the plants of Rubiaceae. Tricarpellary, three carpels. Example we can find in Cucurbitaceae. Okay, next tetracarpellary, four carpels are present inside the ovary. This we can find in the members of Lamiaceae. Multicarpellary, many carpels are there. This we can find in the members of Nymphaceae. So based on the number of carpels, they are classified as unicarpellary, bicarpellary, tricarpellary, tetracarpellary or multicarpellary. Next, fusion of carpels. Now it is an important systematic character. Epocarpus gynoecium. Epocarpus means the carpels when they are free from each other. Epocarpus gynoecium is generally thought to be ancestral condition in angiosperm. So as we have studied, these carpels, they may be either fused together or they may be free from each other. If these carpels, they are free from each other, they are called as epocarpus. A pistil contains two or more distinct carpels. If carpels, they are free from each other, then it is called as epocarpus. You can see here in this diagram, three carpels are there, they are free from each other, then it is called as epocarpus. Okay, you can find this in Annona. Next, syncarpus. So here there are three carpels are there, but they are all joined together, they fuse together. Then this is called as what? Syncarpus. Example in citrus and tomato. Next we are going to study about the number of locules. So ovary bears locules on a specialized tissue that is called the placenta. So here inside the ovary, ovules are present. These ovules are attached to the ovary wall with the help of a specialized tissue that is called as the placenta. The septum is a cross wall or partition of ovary. So inside the ovary there are septum or cross walls are there which divides the ovary into chambers, that is called as the carpel. The walls of the ovary and the septa, they form a cavity that is called the locule. So the cavity inside each carpel, that is called as the locule. Like that, tetralocular and pentalocular ovaries are present according to the locule number 4 or 5. So if 4 locules are present, we call it as tetralocular. If 5 locules are present, we call it as pentalocular. Now more than one locule. So based on the number of locules, they are classified as unilocular, bilocular, tetralocular, pentalocular, multilocular. Okay, so if more than one locule is present, it is called as plurilocular. So here you can see in this diagram, two locules are present there. This is called as bilocular. Okay, so in each locules you can find the ovules are arranged on a connective tissue, that is a specialized tissue, that is called the placenta. Trilocular, you can find here three locules are present. Inside each locule the ovules are present. This is trilocular. Example you can find in banana. Tetralocular, four locules are there. Okay, inside each four locule there are ovules are present. This is called as tetralocular. Now five locules are present. Each locules they contain the ovules. This is the pentalocular. Next we will study about the extension of the condensed internode of the receptacle. Usually the calyx, that is the sepals, petals, androecium and gynoecium, they are arranged over the receptacle. So they are arranged together maybe in one layer. Sometimes here you can find there is some extension of this internodes of the receptacle. That is that these floral members, the floral walls, they are extended, they separated from each other. There is that extension we are going to study here. So here first type is the anthophore. The internodal elongation between the calyx and corolla. You can see here this is the calyx, this is the corolla. This extension or this elongation of the receptacle, this is called as the anthophore. Next, androphore. The internodal elongation between the corolla and androecium. This is the corolla, this is the androecium. So here the elongation between the base of the corolla as well as the androecium, this is called as the androphore. Next is what? The gynophore. Gynophore, the internodal elongation between the androecium and gynoecium. Example is caparis. So here gynophore, the internal elongation is seen between the androecium and gynoecium. Then it is called as the gynophore. Next you can find here is the next type is gynandrophore or androgynophore. The unified internodal elongation, that is the extension of the receptacle between the corolla and androecium and gynoecium in the same flower, then it is called as the gynandrophore or it is also called as androgynophore. Next we will study about the ovary position. The position or attachment of the ovary relative to the other floral parts, it may be classified into superior ovary, inferior ovary or half inferior ovary. So as we have studied, the position or the attachment of the ovary with other floral parts. The first one is the superior ovary. It is the ovary with the sepals, petals, okay, and stamens attached at the base of the ovary. You can see this in this diagram here. So this is the ovary. Okay, the sepals, the petals and the stamen, they arise from below the ovary. Then this is called as, this position of ovary is said to be superior ovary. Next here in this diagram you can see that is, this is the ovary. The sepal, petal and the stamen, they arise above the ovary, above the apex of the ovary. Then this is called as inferior ovary. The third condition, half inferior ovary, that is the sepals, petals and the stamen, they arise at the middle of the ovary. They arise from the middle of the ovary. Then it is called as half inferior ovary. Okay, so here based on the position, they are of three types: superior ovary, inferior ovary. Inferior ovary, the ovary with the sepals, petals and stamens attached at the apex of the ovary. Half inferior ovary, it is the ovary with the sepals, petals and stamens or hypanthecium. Hypanthecium is nothing but it is a nectariferous, nectar containing cup-like structures. This is called as the hypanthecium. This is also present above the ovary. This we will also call it as the inferior ovary or the half inferior ovary. Now based on this, the flowers, they are classified as hypogynous, epihypogynous, epigynous, perigynous and epiperigynous. So here let's study each one in detail. So I explain with you with the diagram. Hypogynous. So what is hypogynous? The flower having the sepals, petals and the stamen. So here they are attached at the base of the superior ovary. Then the flower is said to be an hypogynous flower. Okay, the sepals, the petals and the stamens, they are attached at the base of the superior ovary. Then the flower is said to be an hypogynous flower. And this you can find in the Malvaceae. Next we will study about the epihypogynous. Epihypogynous, the term is used for sepals, petals and the stamens. They are attached at the middle of the ovary. That is when the ovary is half inferior. Okay, so in the middle of the ovary, the sepals, petals and stamens are attached. Then the flower is said to be epihypogynous. Next is epigynous. Epigynous means the term is used for sepals, petals and stamens. They are attached at the top of the inferior ovary. So if they are present, the sepals, petals and stamens are present above the inferior ovary, the flower is said to be an epigynous flower. Example you can find in cucumber, apple, asteraceae, etc. Next is the perigynous. Next type we are going to study the perigynous. The term is used for a hypanthium attached at the base of the superior ovary. Okay, at the base of the superior ovary, a cup-like structure is present. This is called the hypanthium, which contain the nectar. Okay, so at the base of the ovary, this hypanthium is present. Then we call it as a perigynous flower. The sepals, petals and stamens, they are arising from above the ovary. Okay, but the hypanthium is below the ovary. Then it is called as perigynous. Next, epiperigynous. So here you can find the term is used for hypanthodium attached at the apex of the inferior ovary. So here at above the inferior ovary, the cup-like structure hypanthium is present, and above that the sepals, petals and the stamens are arising. Then it is called as the epiperigynous. Okay. Next we will study about the last topic in today's class, that is the placentation. Okay, this is again an important topic, children, for you, placentation. Now what is this placentation? The mode of distribution of placenta inside the ovary. As we have studied, inside the ovary the ovules are present. These ovules are attached to the ovary with the help of a specialized tissue that is called as the placenta. So the mode of distribution of placenta inside the ovary, that is called as placentation. So there are of different types. First one, marginal. Okay, so inside the pod, it is with the placenta along the margin of the unicarpellate ovary. So here only one carpel is present there. Inside this, the placenta is present in the margin. You can find this in pea. Green peas you can find this. This is called as the marginal placentation. Next, superficial. The ovules arise from the surface of the septa. The ovules, this is the surface, the wall. Septa means the wall. From this septa, the placenta is arising. Then it is called as superficial. Then it is the nymphaceae. Free central. It is with the placenta along the column in a compound ovary without septa. So here there is no septa is present. In the center you can find the placenta with numerous ovules are present. Then it is called as free central. You can find this in Caryophyllaceae, Dianthus, Primrose, etc. Next is the exile. The placenta arise from the column in a compound ovary with septa. So here the cross walls are present there. Okay. Now here exile placentation, cross walls are present there. Okay. Now here from the imaginary axis the placenta is arising. On this the ovules are arranged. This type of arrangement is called as exile. Next is the parietal. It is the placenta on the ovary walls or upon intruding partition of the unilocular compound. So here you can find the placenta on the ovary walls. From the ovary wall the placenta is arising. Okay, they are protruding inside, they are projecting inwards. This is called as the parietal placentation. Okay, that is the placenta is present at the margin on a raised projection, that is called as the parietal. Next is the basal placentation. It is the placenta at the base of the ovary. The base of the ovary, the ovules are present with the help of a placenta. Then it is called as a basal. Thus you can find in sunflower, asteraceae or marigold. So these are the different types of placentation which is found in the plants. So here we have studied placentation. They are of 6 types: marginal, superficial, free central, exile placentation, parietal placentation and the basal placentation. Hope children you have understood all the topics taught today in this class. We will meet to the next topic in the next class. Thank you children.